Hello, everyone. Welcome to TD Board Gamers. My name is Dave,
And I'm Dirk.
and today we're going to look at a hero that's very different from other heroes. I've been saying that in every video, but this one is,
That's we're gonna get a shirt made for you with that
yeah.
on it. It's your catchphrase now.
Um,
You're stuck with it.
but this has got Dirk's favorite trait.
I love this one. This has got the cartoon trait. This was
Yeah,
fun.
and he's also a web warrior too.
Yeah.
But so this Spiderham.
Yeah. And
I
I
just got back
yeah.
from Con of Heroes, and one of the content creators had created some custom cards too. So that's kind of fun. We got one of the alternate arts.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty fun. But
But
let's take a
well,
look.
speaking of kind of heroes, I actually played a game with. There was a player that actually played this one, and got into the whole
Yeah,
meta of it with the whole high fiving and all that stuff. And I mean, so
yeah,
that was one thing I love about this character is that meta aspect of him and how fun that is to play with him.
yeah. And he wasn't afraid of being very loud. So
Oh
pretty
no,
much everybody at the Con of Heroes heard him when he did the Captain America or that kind of fun
yep.
stuff. All right, but let's take a look at what Spider-Ham can do.
All right, so it starts out his alter ego here is Peter Porker. He has a 5 recovery. He has hand size of 6 and 12 hit points when he's in hero form or alter ego form. He is a cartoon civilian. And then he has cartoon power response. After you make a basic recovery, you can place one toon counter on Peter Porker. And the toon counters, as you'll see, really play into his character really well.
He's got a hand size 6 and 12 hit points. All right. Then on the hero side, he is a 2/1/1. Each toon counter on Spider-Ham can be spent as if it's a wild resource. And then he has Spider Nonsense. As a response, after Spider-Ham takes any amount of damage, place one toon counter on him.
And this is regardless of where the damage comes from. If it's from retaliate, if it's from an attack, if it's from a card, whatever.
Okay. So let's take a look at his hero kit.
Okay, so the first thing he's got here is Captain America. That's a 3-cost ally, thwarts for 2, attacks for 2, has 3 hit points, and he is cartoon. And as a response, after he comes into play, then
To give someone a high.
yeah, you give someone a high five. I'm having a hard time reading this right now.
Guess he doesn't want to give you a high five.
Yeah, oh, give someone a high five. Oh, sorry. But then
He doesn't play this
you
game.
place a toon counter on your identity and shuffle a Spider-Ham card from your discard pile into your deck. That's it. Okay, wow.
All right. Then we got 2 copies of Ham It Up. This is his thwart event. So hero action, remove 1 threat from a scheme for each toon counter on Spider-Ham.
And so there's a couple of different ways you can play them. You can either use the toon counters to actually pay for cards, to play cards, or you could also store them up. I do like to store them up, but there is a risk doing that, which
This has nothing
will
to
come
do.
too late.
This card has nothing to do with that, though.
The number of toon counters. Remove one for each toon counter.
Oh.
If you store them up, you
Yeah,
can
that's
remove
true.
quite a bit with him.
And it looks like pigs can fly.
Yes.
All right, then we have.
All right, then we've got Hogwash, which is a 1-cost cartoon event, and you can remove a toon counter from Spider-Ham and loudly read the card's flavor text. This card's flavor text. And then if you do that, you can choose to either deal 5 damage to a minion or remove 5 threat from a side scheme. And the flavor text is pow, bam, schwack, no, whack, schmack, boom, boink. That's it. Yeah.
So he would have failed.
I would have failed. Yeah, I'm bad.
All right.
Just make a bunch of noises.
I don't think so. 1-cost event is cartoon. Hero interrupt. When you reveal a card from the encounter deck, remove 1 toon counter from Spider-Ham. Say, I don't think so, in your best Spider-Ham voice. I guess that's mine. Cancel the effect of that card and discard it.
Yeah, what I love is it does not replace it with another one. It just cancels it outright. All right, then we've got Petulant Pig, and how many? Is this just the 2 copies of this one? 2 copies of Petulant Pig. It's a 0-cost cartoon event. As a hero action, you can stick your tongue out at the villain. The villain attacks you, and you draw 3 cards. I love that card, by the way.
Then we got 3 copies of Swinging Web Pig. It's a 3-cost event, cartoon attack. Hero action attack, deal 6 damage to an enemy, confuse that enemy. Am I a pig with a proportional strength and agility of a spider, or am I a spider with a proportional
Physical
limitations, yeah,
limitations.
physical limitations of a pig, Peter Porker.
Right, then we've got the Daily Beagle. So this is his support. It's a 2-cost cartoon location, and it is an alter ego action. You can exhaust the Beagle and place a tune counter on Peter Porker.
Okay. Then we got 2 copies of Cartoon Physics.
This one's a fun one.
Cartoon Superpower. When your identity would take any amount of damage, discard this card, wiggle your body, and prevent all but one. So you only take 1 damage, and then you get a tune counter. So,
yeah, and the best part about this is watching people perform the actions.
Yep.
It makes it all worth it.
And then you barely felt a thing.
Yeah. Right, then we've got his his huge wooden hammer. It's a 2-cost upgrade. It is a cartoon weapon. Spiderham gets +1 attack, and as a hero interrupt, whenever he makes a basic attack, you can exhaust the hammer and remove 1 tune counter from it, and then you can Spiderham gets +2 for the attack, and the attack gains overkill. So
okay, and then we got organic webbing here. So it's a 2-cost upgrade. Cartoon Superpower. Spiderham gets +1 thwart. You can exhaust organic webbing and remove 1 tune counter from Spiderham to ready Spiderham and give him the aerial trait till the end of the phase. So you could build an aerial deck around that.
I can't believe they missed the opportunity to put "When Pigs Fly" as the flavor text. I cannot believe that. I'm just flabbergasted. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, I can't even think of what to say. I mean, yeah, okay, I'll stop now.
Thank you. That's because the designer really wanted a hot dog.
Yeah, I really want a hot dog. All right, so this is his obligation. Give this to the Peter Porker player. You can flip to alter ego form and then choose to either exhaust him and remove a tune counter from him to remove this card from the game, or if not, you are stunned and then you are, let's see, if you're already if you're already stunned, then it gains surge. Oh, if you're already stunned, you get surged.
So. Right. Then his nemesis is the Green Gobbler. Okay.
I used to be able to do it.
1 scheme, 2 attack, 4 hit points, cartoon criminal. So not just a criminal, but a cartoon criminal.
But he's not a bird.
No. After the Green Gobbler engages you, discard all counters from each card you control. So that's really...
This is the drawback to the big build-up, everything, like I was saying. If this card comes out, you lose it all.
Yeah. And I'll succeed by any means necessary, even if I must resort to foul play.
The Green Gobbler. All right, so the side scheme here is the Nefarious Trap. So it has a hazard icon. It comes in with 3 threat. But when defeated, the Green Gobbler attacks the player who defeated the scheme. And if the Green Gobbler is not in play, then you search the encounter deck and discard pile for him, and you put him into play, engage with that player who defeated the scheme. Okay. So he comes out if he wasn't.
Then he's got his Gobbler Glider. So it gives him +1 scheme, +1 attack, surge, attach to Green Gobbler. If you cannot attach to a minion, attached minion gains the aerial trait. And then we have his treachery, which is 2 copies.
2 copies of Feast on this. So this is a treachery. It's when revealed. You take 2 damage and you're confused. If you're already confused, the card gains surge. So prevents you from thwarting.
Okay. All right. Then we picked out some cards that we thought were useful. So you could build an aerial deck. We didn't grab any of the aerial cards, C or Angel and etc. Flying characters for more information on aerial decks.
And Ariel's generally not the first place I'm going with him because he can gain aerial, but he doesn't. Whenever he gains it, it's not a permanent trait or
it's only
semi-permanent.
Well,
it's only like, occasion.
Yeah, it's like Silk.
Yeah,
it's just, all right. But so for aggression, we thought of Angela here. So she costs 0 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points, Asgard Guardian. Force response. After Angela enters play under your control, search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a minion and put it into play engage with you. Shuffle the encounter deck. If a minion was not put into play this way, discard Angela. Now, the reason we thought of her is 2 reasons. One, if the minion has quick strike, okay, well, now you can gain a tune counter from taking the damage from the minion, which usually they don't hit super hard if they got quick strike. Or just the fact that you get a minion, even if they don't have quick strike, there's a second, you might defend against the villain.
Yeah, defend against the villain, let the minion
and
through.
then let the minion go through, and take a point of damage that way. So, all right.
All right, the next one here we thought was a kind of an interesting one for him was the Hulk ally. The Hulk ally is a 2-cost ally. He cannot thwart, and he attacks for 3. He's got 5 hit points. He's a Gamma Avenger, but as a force response, after he attacks, you discard the top card of your deck, and if the card has the following symbols on them, they trigger an effect. Now, the one particularly, or the two that we're looking for, is if it's an energy, you deal 1 damage to each character. That gets you a tune counter.
Yep.
Also, if a wild, then he will do all of them. So again, you'll also take that 1 point of damage, and you'll get the tune counter. So that's kind of there. I mean, he's a good beefy blocker for 2 hit points. He can swing really hard, but whenever he does swing, he can actually get you a tune counter. So.
And in a multiplayer, this card could piss people off because you kill maybe one of their allies that they had 1 hit point that they were planning on using for a blocker, and you said, "Oh, Hulk will defend for you," because I wanted the damage, and since I killed your ally, sure, I'll let Hulk defend for you. All right, then we got looking for trouble here. So this is kind of like Angela. You discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion in play, engage with you, remove 3 threat from the main scheme. But the main thing is, again, you're hoping to get a minion with quick strike, or at least you have a minion.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the same concept.
It will work with anything, but if you know who you're fighting in advance and you know that you've got minions in there with quick strike, these are really good cards for him, because then you can guarantee to take those extra damage, get the extra 2 counters.
All right.
And in that same vein, we have Spoiling for a Fight, which will be coming out in the upcoming Falcon set, which is 0-cost event. As a hero action, you discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion, put the minion in play with you, and then you ready your hero. So it's very similar as far as what you're trying to do here is you're trying to get a minion, hopefully with quick strike, but just a minion, period, engage with you so you can take damage, and then you'll get the ready in this case. Yep. So, yeah, very similar to the Looking for Trouble in the Angela in concept.
Yep. All right. Then we have Battle Fury. It's 1-cost upgrade. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. After your hero attacks and defeats a minion, deal 1 damage to your hero. Boom, a tomb counter, and discard Battle Fury to ready your hero. So you get to take a damage, get a tomb counter, and ready.
All right, we've also got Blood Rage here, which is a 1-cost upgrade. It's a condition, max 1 per player, but as a response, after you defeat an enemy with a basic attack, you can exhaust Blood Rage, take a damage, and draw a card. And if you got this combination right here, that basically, you can take 2 damage, you can ready yourself, and draw a card.
And get 2 counter.
And get 1. Actually, each of them is independent sources. You get 2 tomb counters at that.
All right, and then for Justice, we got great responsibility here. When any amount of threat would be placed on a scheme, you could take it as damage instead. So you can get a tomb counter.
Yeah, and depending, especially if you're playing solo, there's a good chance you're only putting 1 threat. So it's very limited damage that you're taking to get that tomb counter.
Okay.
Then we've also got Quick Quip, which is a 2-cost event. Does require mental to play this, but you deal 1 damage to a web warrior character you control. He's a web warrior, so you can place up to 2 confused status cards on up to 2 enemies.
But
so
the important thing is the damage.
Yeah, the damage to get that tune counter.
And then you can see some of our Miles for ideas for building web warrior decks. But we got a couple specific web warriors in here. But here's a fun card. Clarity of Purpose. It's a 1-cost upgrade attached to a friendly character, max 1 per character. Exhaust this card and deal 1 damage to attached character. Boom, you generated a tomb counter, and you get a wild resource for this. So
yeah, and this one's really great. In fact, this is one that even if I'm not playing a leadership character, if I'm playing Spiderham, I'm asking the leadership character to put this in their deck if I can convince them to do that. Okay. It's that good for them.
Then we got a few pool cards. So, of course, that would require Dreadpool to come into play.
But Dreadpool, the cool thing about Dreadpool, he is a 2-cost, not 2-cost, he is a 3-health assassin elite minion. He schemes for 2, he attacks for 2. He engages the first player, but the cool thing about him is whenever he is defeated Or Dreadpool, yeah. When he's defeated, you deal him to the player who defeated him as a face down encounter card. So he is, once he comes out into play, he is pretty much almost a guaranteed minion for the rest of the game.
Right.
So that means you can guarantee that you're going to get a hit of 2. You can jump in front of him in multiplayer games if you wanted to. You can jump in front of him, or just wait for him to come back to you. But yeah.
But
guaranteed minion.
Yeah, he doesn't come out immediately because you have the Crisis on Infinite Deadpool.
Yes.
So then that has to come out, which is like a Shadows. But then yeah, you have so even if it's a low minion game, you have at least one minion that's pretty much going to stick around the whole game.
Yeah, but this is one that you actually want him to come out if you're Spiderham.
Yeah, and you'll annoy the other players.
Yes. Right, another one we got here is the Bomb. It is a 6-cost event. You got a max of 1 per deck, but you deal 10 damage to the villain and deal 1 damage to each enemy and hero for each of the negative symbols in play. So yeah, you could potentially take a little bit of damage with this, but you can also control that a little bit. But again, yes, you're dealing a lot of damage to the villain, and you're hitting the minions as well, and still getting a tomb counter because you're damaging yourself. You're probably doing at least 1 point of damage to yourself with this if you're playing pool.
Then we have Get in Front of Me, which is the Get Behind Me.
The improved version.
But actually, in this case, you may want to play it as more like Get Behind Me. But
yes.
It's a 1-cost event. Hero Interrupt. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects. The villain attacks you instead. You also have the option as if an ally or another hero defends this attack, draw a card. So you would not get the tune counter, but you can get a card draw if you needed it. So
yeah, so that's if you needed it, but more than likely you're going to want to probably get the tune counter. That's why you probably got this in your deck and while you're playing this one.
Yeah.
We've also got Not My Responsibility, which is Deadpool's upgraded version, or the pool upgraded version of Greater Responsibility. It's a 0-cost event. The cool thing about this one is it is an interrupt and not a hero interrupt, although you're probably going to want to play this in hero form with Spider-Ham specifically. But when any amount of threat would be placed on a scheme, you or an ally you control takes it as damage instead. You're probably going to want to take it yourself, but you can give it to an ally if you need to, because if you're low on health or something.
And it's an interrupt, not a hero interrupt.
Yeah.
So you could do an alter ego, although you don't.
But you probably don't want to
because you don't get a tune counter.
Yeah.
So you just take the damage for no reason. To avoid the card.
Yeah.
Avoid the threat. I mean, all right. Then we got War here. 1-cost upgrade. It's a meta game. Exhaust War, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Take 1 damage for each icon, star, and triangle in the boost area of that card. Then discard the top card of your deck. Deal damage to an enemy equal to the card's cost. So ideally, you're taking the damage from the encounter card. So
yeah, I mean, you might not. You do run the risk of not taking any damage, but even if you don't take damage, I mean, it's still a decent card. But in this case, you're okay if you take that damage. You're okay if you don't do as good in war.
But it's an upgrade, and you could do it every single turn.
Yes,
that's the thing. But yeah, if you get an assault or a advance or something, you're going to take no damage that turn.
Yep. All right, so the next card we've got here is he's a protection ally. He's a 3-cost ally, North Star. He thwarts for 1, attacks for 2. He's got 3 hit points. He is an X-Men ally, but as an interrupt, when a boost card is turned face up during an attack, you deal 1 damage to North Star to cancel all boost icons on that card. So where this is kind of cool is you are taking a lot of extra damage as Spider-Ham because you're allowing damage to come through. So you might want to kind of have a way to limit that if you're playing protection. This gives you a way to do that and still allow some damage to come through, especially if you've got a villain that doesn't hit real big. You take the hit from them, the 1 or 2 points, and then use this to deal the damage to North Star to prevent all of the extra boost if you get hit with the big boost. So it's a good way to limit the damage that you're taking.
Right. And North Star could work good with this card.
Yep.
Bait and Switch. It's a 1-cost event. The villain attacks you, and then you remove 4 threat from the main scheme. So again, you could prevent taking stop the boost icon so that you just take the minimum amount of damage that the villain can do.
Yep. Because a lot of times when you're playing protection, you're trying to play perfect protection. Here you're trying to play slightly imperfect protection.
Almost perfect.
9 perfect.
defense.
All right, so here we've got Get Behind Me. It's a one-cost event. It is a hero interrupt. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, you can cancel its when revealed effects, and the villain attacks you instead. So again, it's something similar to the bait and switch, but where you're getting the villain to attack you additional times.
Okay, then we got Taunt here. That's a one-cost event. The villain attacks you. Other characters cannot defend against this attack. Draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
So this is another, another nice one to get some damage during the hero phase.
Yep. Then we've got Thwip Thwip. It is a 2-cost event. It is a superpower, but as a hero action, you can deal 1 damage to a Web Warrior character. Hey, there's your toon counter. And a character you control, and then you place a total of 2 stun status cards on up to 2 enemies. So, yeah, so you'll be able to stun now. That way, what's really nice about that one is, yeah, you do want to take the damage, but that can help prevent damage overload. You can kind of channel and control when you're getting the damage a little bit better.
Right, and it's actually kind of nice, like in multiplayer, because the other players, like, this is a way where if they're the first player, then the villain's going to be stunned against them, but he won't be stunned against you, hopefully. So you can still, and you get your toon counter. So.
Yep. All right, here we've got a 1-cost upgrade. It's Ready for a Fight. It is a preparation card. It does require strength to play this one, but as an interrupt, when an enemy would scheme, you discard Ready for a Fight, you change to hero form, and the enemy attacks you instead. Now, so this one, what I like about it is the fact that the arrow means that, you have to perform one to do the next. In this one is you do not necessarily have to be an alter ego because it's an interrupt. But if you are, it'll switch you so that you can be attacked.
Right. But also, if the other player is an alter ego, it's another chance for you to be attacked so that you can get a toon counter.
Yeah, that's one, because you're generally not going to be attacked or you're not going to be schemed on in hero form in most cases.
All right. Unless you're Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Spider Tingle, 1-cost upgrade. It's a superpower. When you would reveal an encounter card, deal 1 damage to whoever character you control. Oh, myself. If the card is a treachery, cancel its when revealed effects and discard Spider Tingle. So the thing is, you're going to, so for the way this card works is you take the damage before you find out what the card is. So if it's not a treachery, then you took the damage for nothing. But for Spiderham, he wants to take the damage.
Yeah, so you are taking the damage. You are getting a positive effect for your character by doing that, and then he gets it regardless of what kind of card it is. So
yeah,
that card's never a dead card.
And if it's a treachery card, as an added bonus, you cancel it.
So. Yes. All right, next here we've got Grant Ward. He's one of the new cards from he's from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Yeah,
he's he's the Grant Ward ally here. He's a 0-cost ally. He thwarts for 2, he attacks for 2. He's a shield spy. He cannot defend. And he has a force response that in most cases is a drawback, that after you reveal a treachery card, you may spend a mental resource. If you do not, you take damage equal to Grant Ward's attack and remove Grant from the game. So this is only kind of a one-shot if you do this, but it's a good way you can guarantee you're taking 2 points of damage, you're getting toon counters. And then he's gone, so he actually thins your deck slightly.
Right. And, I mean, you still get the benefit of him.
You still get the attack.
At least attack or thwart from at least once, minimum once. And he costs 0. And, yeah, he's removed from the game, so now your deck is smaller, too.
Yep.
So there is that. All right, and then we said, like, all the Web Warriors are good, but, we pointing out a couple specifics here.
So yeah, Ghost Spider here. She's 3-cost ally. She thwarts for 1, attacks for 2. Again, you can only play her if you're a Web Warrior, and she is a Web Warrior as well. She's got 3 hit points. I don't know if I said that already. But as an interrupt, whenever she leaves play, you can search your deck for an identity-specific event and add that to your hand. And the great thing about doing this is whenever he uses his events, a lot of the times he does not remove toon counters for some of them. So this allows you to get, if you've got a lot of toon counters, you can get those events back whenever she goes away and play those again.
Especially that defense card of his.
Yeah.
Where you prevent all but 1 point of damage.
Yep.
That's a good one to grab. All right. Then we have Madam Web here. She's a 3-cost ally, 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 hit points. After Madam Web enters play, look at the top X cards of the encounter deck, where X is the number of Web Warrior cards you control. You may discard one card, look at it this way, and put the rest back in any order. Now, why we picked this card out specifically is that you could put the top card of the encounter deck that has just enough boost icons to where maybe you're going to take 1 point of damage or something, so you can kind of control the villain's attack.
Yeah, because you're going to get a minimum of, you're going to get to look at 2 cards minimum if you're doing this, because you've got her and Peter Porker. But yeah, and depending if you play heavier into it, you can definitely manipulate the deck. Anytime you can kind of control what you're going to take and win, that's really good.
Right. So, and it has an added bonus, maybe you discard shadows or something.
Oh yeah.
So.
All right, next one we've got here is Across the Spider-Verse. Again, this is a great one for Web Warrior cards. It's max 1 per deck. It's a 2-cost event, but you can exhaust a Web Warrior card you control, search your deck and discard pile for a Web Warrior ally, and put it into play. Then you choose a player. That player may spend 3 resources of any type to repeat this ability. Of course, you can always choose yourself with that, but then that's great because you can go and pull something like Madam Web back out so that you turn around and do it all over again.
Okay. And you're taking a lot of damage in this, so you're going to want to have a way to heal without having to go to alter egos. So First Aid's a nice card for that. 1-cost event, heal 2 damage from any character.
Yeah, and what I like about this one over a lot of the others, there's a lot of different ways that you can heal a character, but you have to fit specific criteria. And this one, it heals them right away and without going down, like Dave said. So. And another one that we thought would be really good for Spiderham in particular, I mean, it's great for anybody, but him in particular, is the Specialized Training. It is a player side scheme. It costs 1. It comes in with 5 threat per player. It's a victory, so it'll go into the victory display whenever it's defeated. Each player who does not control a specialization upgrade chooses one set-aside specialization upgrade and puts it into play under their control. So if there's 4 players, of course, up to 4 players, everybody's going to get to choose one, but the one Spiderham wants in particular is probably going to be this one right here, the Frontline Specialist. This one is you gain 4 hit points, so it gives him a little bit extra damage that he can take, but after you take damage from an enemy attack, and you're going to be doing this an awful lot, probably more so than most other characters, you can exhaust this card and draw a card. So once per turn, you're going to get to draw an extra card just because you're taking the damage that you already want to take.
Yep. Yep. And then there are 3 others that we'll just flash real quick.
Yeah, we'll flash them real quick. You've got these as well, which are going to be beneficial to all the other, or to everybody, but...
plus 1 defense, and when you do a basic defense, you draw a card. Plus 1 attack. When you do a basic attack, you can draw a card. And plus 1 thwart when you do a basic
attack. So of course, if you're playing a multiplayer game, you can benefit everybody.
Someone's going to get that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Then he's a cartoon civilian in alter ego. So we got this card, Everyday Hero. When your identity has a civilian trait, this card can be spent for any player and gains the text response. After you spend this card for a player, heal 1 damage from that player's identity. So this is again a night taking a lot of damage, but it's also a way to help your other players as well.
Yeah, now the thing is, you do have to be an alter ego to play this one because they don't have honorary civilian or anything like that. But so this is something, though, that if you know you're going to be going down, if you've got this card in your hand, or it gives you an opportunity to go down, you can help another player play something with it, and then give them an extra benefit out of it if you've got no other need for the card. And it's a wild resource too, so it can work for anything.
Okay.
Yep. And the last one, I think, is it the last one? No, it's not the last one. Another one we got here is we've got team building exercises, 2-cost support. This one is you can exhaust team building exercise, and you can play a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero, reducing its cost by 1. So he has the unique keyword of cartoon that only comes in his set, but the majority of the cards in his set have that cartoon keyword. However, if you're building a Web Warrior specific deck as well, you can add a second one of these to kind of help out and pay extra, because you can only use 1 per card, but if you're playing more than 1 card, as long as they share keywords, you can use them for subsequent cards.
Yeah. All right, then we've got Webs of Life and Destiny. It's a 3-cost support. Ignore the resource costs if your identity has a Web Warrior, which you do when you're a hero. Response: after a Web Warrior ally leaves play, choose a player. That player draws a card. So this you would want to do when you're building a Web Warrior deck.
Yeah, this one, I mean, and I love this one again with that whole combination with where did it go? With that whole combination right there. That's a sweet little Those three right there, sweet little setup together. Takes a little work, but it's sweet. And then we've got here Endurance. Now, this is one, I mean, works for pretty much anybody, but it started because of other cards. It's kind of lost its place in a lot of decks. But this one, in Spiderham in particular, I think this is a really good option to have in his deck because you are taking all that extra damage. So this Endurance, it's a 1-cost upgrade that you can play under any player's control, but it gives you 3 additional hit points. So again, that allows you to take additional damage so that before you have to worry about healing.
And you are willingly taking damage
Yes.
for tune card counters. So, all right. Then the last card we got here is 1-cost upgrade, Warrior of the Great Web. Attached to any character with spider in its title. Attached character gains the Web Warrior trait.
The great thing is, yeah, you play this on yourself.
But after a Web Warrior ally leaves play, attached character gets +1 attack till the end of the phase. So it's a nice way to get an extra +1.
Yep.
Beat up on all the minions that you're grabbing so that you can get more damage. So
Yep.
all right. Well, anyways, so that was our look at Spiderham and some cards that we think are useful for him. Dirk really hates this character.
Yeah.
Especially all the
No, I hate it. Yeah, no.
especially all the meta stuff
This guy is so much
that
fun
you're
to play.
forced to do.
Yeah,
you have to do it, or you can't.
Yeah,
play
we actually had a house rule that you are required to do it. I know if you look at the rules of the game, it says you don't necessarily have to. No, our house rule was you were required to do it if you were playing him.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder what our neighbors thought about us because we were not exactly quiet doing it either.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, so we got one more hero from the Sinister Motive Wave. So that'll be SPDR. So look forward to that one coming soon. And thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe.
And if you want to see new content by us, go ahead and hit that notify bell down there, and you will get alerts when we post new videos.